Oh, that looks good. I swear to God, if he lands that... Are you fucking serious? Okay, I'm just fucking done. I'm done. I'm out of here. Later, guys. Bye.
Hey, it's me, Marky Joe, here to entertain you. Yes, it is my show. It exists. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it.
Yeah. Click. Okay. Time to fill in 11.5 minutes of this shit. So, why is this post-production instead of live footage? Well, if you want to see the live footage of me doing the rest of the chapter, please click the link that I show right here. But, well, I mean, only watch it if you like my commentary to only consist of, oh god, why does this dude have a horse slayer? Oh god, that guy's got a killing edge. Oh my god, I didn't know there were so many enemies over here. Alfred, you're so sadistic. Please nerf God. Ah! Yeah, that's basically it. Throughout the whole chapter, I'm basically just in a constant panic from beginning to end. So I decided to re-record the footage, and after replaying this chapter enough times, I've started to realize that it's not as scary as it appears. So, since this is a Fog of War mission, obviously you don't see the enemies until you're close enough to them. When you move forward, you tend to run into a buttload of enemies. Now, since they have very high stats, this can be intimidating. But here's the thing, some of the enemies don't actually move. And this threw me off for a while, because, for example, in the right path, Feratris is immediately met with tons of these eyeball dudes who can just really destroy her. But a lot of them don't actually move, so you can freely just place her wherever and she'll be fine. And that's kind of that's a bit of a theme with this chapter, is that it's kind of unintuitive. You wouldn't think the enemies would stand still, since they're kind of out in the open and usually very numerous. You'd think they'd just swarm you, but some of them don't. Some just exist to block your way, which I guess makes sense because they're trying to slow you down from getting to the Midnight Shrine. But on the other hand, I'm not sure it's like the most fun way to do things. It kind of makes the chapter a bit grindy at points because the enemies aren't really all that challenging, and other points the enemies are kind of alarmingly difficult to deal with. But here's the thing, at the very beginning of the chapter, you have all these Hoikadians who, so long as you keep them alive, they can more or less take on these enemies pretty well. And throughout the beginning of the chapter, you can pretty much run straight ahead and nothing bad will happen. One, because of the enemies that are stationary, and two, because the enemies tend to prioritize the Hoikadians. So, that's kind of what I mean when I say this chapter is not as difficult as it seems, but at the same time, I'm not sure I'm a fan of the alternative that's going on here either. The chapter's not very, really what it is that you're not really under a lot of pressure, so as a result, the chapter kind of ends up being easy and a bit boring. Because it actually becomes a bit of a grind fest, because, again, the enemies don't move, and you can just feed whoever you want experience. There's also some areas, such as the top left path, which I kind of question the purpose of it existing, because it's more or less leading to the same area, but the enemies just stand still there. It just slows you down further, and that's it. Meanwhile, if you go over the bridge over here, that leads you to 3 different paths, gives you access to all the chests and so on and so forth. Though, even then, thinking about it, I do question the purpose of the left path at all at this point, because what's really stopping me from just taking the right path with all of my units? I mean, that's the direction I'm required to go, and no matter what I do, the thief man that we get is always going to be out of the way of the chest. Which, you know, that's lame because the last few turns of the chapter are more or less just ferrying him over the chests and nabbing them. I don't think you get any chest keys at this point of the game, so that you're more or less stuck doing that. It's really boring. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that if somebody were to LTC this, they'd just throw all their units over to the right and maybe like throw Helios down either the paths to the chests or straight up. Either way, a path is going to be cleared for the Thief Man, and the rest could just run up the right path. And that kind of, like, even though the chapter is huge and ambitious and stuff, it's rather simple once you know everything that's going on with it. Like, between the enemies that stay still and the paths that don't really do much for you. Like, there's not even, I don't think there's even any useful dropped items in the left path, so it just begs the question, why? Ugh, my voice cracked there. Sorry, my voice is running out. I've been re-recording this several times. So, let's touch upon Shiori. Obviously, she needs to block enemies from reaching the 3x3 tile in the middle of the Midnight Shrine. Now, here's what confused me, and I think this is why I thought the chapter was luck-based. So, enemies come from the left of the Midnight Shrine, or rather from the west. And obviously, like, the thing that seems obvious to do is to just place her in the choke point of the left of the shrine to block them and to just wipe them out. But here's the thing, the enemies are actually too strong for her to take in large numbers. And I do believe that there is still a pair of zombie dudes who, if they attack her on the same turn, could potentially kill her even from full health. Though I think in this footage I managed to manage their placements enough to prevent that from happening, but that also requires a shitload of foreknowledge and trial and error to even get that to work, so I still think this chapter is a bit luck-based in that regard. Or at least trial and error difficulty. But yeah, you can either do that, or you could stand on the pillars, and the enemies don't actually go for the Midnight Shrine center. They prioritize Shiori, and according to one of the people who commented on the previous video, you can actually just drag her away from the Midnight Shrine, and nothing bad will happen, which really just goes to show you, like, chapter needs a bit of work. Now with that in mind, though, Shiori's not going to be fine the whole way through. Enemies start coming from the east, assuming you keep her in the Midnight Shrine, that is. I mean, I'm pretty sure anyone would try to do that, simply because that seems the thing that makes the most sense. But yeah, enemies start approaching from the east at some point, and because you're blocking the west area, they're gonna run straight towards her from the east, and since the Midnight Shrine's thing is in their path, well, you know, that's kind of the main reason why you gotta drag these guys up here. Though I will say, I do question, like, if I do run Shiori away from the shrine, wouldn't that put her in danger of a couple other enemies? I guess I'd have to check it out, but either way, Alfred, you should probably look into that. Overall, this chapter really isn't that difficult, but it's super unintuitive. Like, nothing... It goes against all common sense. Like, the player is going to do things that seem to make sense, and it's not going to work, and then they're gonna have to, like, figure out the chapter from, like, a technical standpoint, which is what happened with me, and I don't know, it just doesn't feel like I won with my own skill, is basically what I'm getting at. So this is the point of the chapter where I've more or less cleared out the bulk of the enemies, and it's just a matter of getting the thief over to the chests. And, you know, this chapter, you know, I complain a lot about large maps, and if not for this one thing, where you gotta drag the thief over to the chests, I don't think this map is too big. It has plenty of things going on in it. Alfred was very ambitious with this chapter. It's just that one thing that's really holding it back. Because he's got plenty of enemies, he's got the cutscenes going on, he's got the Hoikadians obviously doing their thing, You know, for the most part, this chapter, in theory at least, keeps your interests. Also, I'm not sure if I mentioned this already, but this chapter is also kind of a jerk when it comes to enemy inventory, because not only do we have the Killer Bow skeleton and the Horse Slayer skeleton, but we also got one with a Zombato and one with a Killing Edge. And, yeah, I'm not a big fan of walking instant deaths. So, also, yeah, you might want to look into that as well, Alfred. Anyway, we are reaching the chapter's conclusion. There's a Restore Staff right there. The next one has, I believe, a Heavy Spear. And, of course, up in the left corner, in its own little cubby hole, is the Solaris Sword, as you could probably guess. So, the Thief guy needs that if you want him to stay on your team. At least I'm assuming that's the case, because that's what he said in the dialogue. A lot of these eyeball dudes have, like, magic that reverses the weapon triangle, which, you know, I'm not a big fan of that either. When you give enemies, like, just the general thing with this chapter is that when you give enemies, like, such diverse weaponry, it kind of makes it annoying because you're constantly checking enemy inventory. Also, right here, I am removing all the stuff that Helios has. I'm not going to reveal why, but, yeah. What's coming up is the only footage from the live footage that I'm going to include in this part. Again, if you want to see the live footage, it's been fully edited. I'm going to include a link to it. And it's also going to be unlisted because I don't want it to represent this hack. I'd rather this post-production stuff do that because I felt the commentary I did there wasn't a good job. Anyway, we're done with the chapter. Live Market Joe coming in 3, 2, 1, go. God, 4 months, man. 4 effing months. So yeah, just to be sure, Alfred, I still think the chapter's still luck-based. There's still those 2 zombie dudes that make everything terrible. Yeah? Yes, I did think walking corpses could stop you. They clearly did. Out of fucking 50 million tries. Oh, now you gotta do part 2 of the chapter, Fractures. Good luck. God damn, that would suck so bad. Yeah, we'll send her out to kill the rest of the monsters that she could barely hold on her own about. Uh-oh. I'm not sure about this. I got a suspicious feeling in my gut. Yeah. I've been analyzing some of Helios' texts from the previous chapters. Wait, so you're telling me Fractures is pure? That's bullshit. Everybody's got malice. Okay, so that guy... So Helios is actually some other dude, apparently. Decimated is not the correct term, by the way. Decimated means that you're taking out 1/10 of people or something like that. You have to look it up. That's very smart. Wow, that sucks. Okay, so that kid's named the L starting name. No, I mean, is Helios really gonna pull this off? Yeah, I'm not counting on it. Wait, hold on a moment. Really? Are you serious, man? Come on! He did like 4 damage to you! Not half bad, my ass. Alright, so... I actually thought Helios was gonna betray us. I actually thought, like, this was all a ruse that he set up to fool Faratrice and, like, awaken the Demon King or something. Wait, what the fuck? That's not good. Oh, that's really bad. Plot twist. Yikes. Holy shit. Okay, so I was right. Helios did betray us, that fucker. God damn it, Helios! I mean... Either way, really good plot twist. You actually had me fooled there that it wasn't actually going to happen. But yeah.
I need someone to review my FE hack. He needs to be someone who won't cut me slack. It's Monkey Joe, he's a ride from his golden chariot, and down he